Welcome to my introduction of the Yugoslav Wars mod. Here is the country selection screen. As you can see, there is only one start date, and that's of course the Yugoslav Wars. It doesn't start in 1992, but everything else is there. So there are 5 countries in this mod, and you can see the 5 as the pre-selected favorites in this start date. You have Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia and Macedonia, and all these countries have the accurate flags of the era. Slovenia and Croatia still have the same flags today as they did then, 20 years ago. Bosnia, Serbia and Macedonia had other flags before changing to their current ones. And you can blame Greece for the last one. You can't see much from here. I have already picked Serbia, so let's click play and go to the ground, and you will see the setup. I currently have the fog of war off so that we can see the map. Here's Serbia. The borders and occupations are well, I try to make them right. So they're supposed to represent the beginning of 1992. So instead of having Serbian and Croatian separatist states as their own countries, they are part of Croatia and Serbia respectively. So for the sake of easiness, so might not be historically correct, but it's a war game and it's for fun's sake, so you have to make a little changes. But yeah, the way the front lines change is not in any way realistic anyway, and they are really close to the Croatian capital. So who are the actors? In the west you have Slovenia, the westernmost and perhaps also the most western in a culture sense of the countries, perhaps. The first one to join EU and NATO, I believe, and they are neutral at the start of the mod. But at 2 times in the game, through events, they can be, if they choose to, be called in to the war on Croatia's side. So they can be a useful ally for them. There isn't much to say. They are having the second least army and as large army as Bosnia have. Smallest army Macedonia have. If we continue to Croatia, you will see there are very long territory, not particularly secure or easy to defend. But so far the Croatians have surprised me with how quickly they can fix that problem. They are one of the 2 main actors. They're basically 2 sides, the Croatians and the Serbians. So yeah, they are the second strongest country in the mod. And then you got what remains of Bosnia. You can see that most is occupied by Serbia and a bit by Croatia. So only here, a province in the west, and Sarajevo, its capital, and a bit of provinces up here are the only ones not occupied. So they're not particularly strong. Their objective during the game is just to survive. Or if you're a really good player, perhaps conquer the map with them. Perhaps. The third and the other main actor is the Serbia. They are the strongest country in the game, about 1/4 stronger than, at least, than Croatia. So if the war drags out, Serbian industrial superiority and resource superiority will eventually give them an advantage and perhaps the victory. So that's why it's important for the Croatians to try to defeat the Serbians as quickly as possible. And the remaining fifth country, the most irrelevant of them all because they have no events and they are neutral, they have the smallest army, and they're basically just there because they were a former part of Yugoslavia and no other reason. Else they would be just as irrelevant as Albania over there, which is blacking out because they were not part of former Yugoslavia. But they're there and they are playable, so do what you want. Perhaps conquer the map with them. Who knows? So basically this is the entire map. No new provinces added. The provinces are already small enough, and you have to remake the entire map to get more provinces. And I'm not that kind of mapper, so it's not happening. Yeah. To the more interesting part, there are a lot of events in this game, victory events, and others. They're calling Slovenia, for example, as an ally for the Croatians, and there are 40 new events that I have made for this mod. Most of them are related to victories and ending, as I call them. There are 6 different endings for this mod. An ending means that as a historical, after 3.5 years of fighting, the UN managed to get a ceasefire and the war stopped. And the same thing will happen here, despite saying 1936 up there. After 3.5 years, it's optional, but you have to look out or it will do it automatically without you. But after 3.5 years, the UN will say it will had enough, and it will enforce a peace and an ending if you don't click it away in time. And depending on your progress at that moment, or if you have achieved one of the endings earlier than the sort of semi-end date, you get an event that you can end the war and achieve that ending and victory. So, if the countries are in a stalemate after 3.5 years, you get the stalemate ending, which is the historical ending, and it's the second best ending for Bosnia, which means it will regain all of its territory and end up like historical. So, Bosnia want to survive, fight both sides, and manage to regain its territory. So the neutral ending is the second best, and also most realistic for Bosnia. but highly unlikely really, because more likely is one of the two endings for each of the other sides. There are two Croatian victory endings and there are two Serbian victory endings. One moderate for each and one strong for each. Depending on how much you conquer from the other side, you will get more territory and even puppet your enemy in the peace negotiations. And that's 5 endings, and then there's the 6th secret ending. That will mean you have to be a very hardcore player to achieve. It's involving Bosnia, and it's glorious. And if you achieve a strong victory with either Serbia or Croatia, the main actors, or as any of them, and you manage to control Croatia, Bosnia and Serbia, you will get an event. And that's the reunification of Yugoslavia event, which is possible. If you check, if I click on this province, say, you'll see that the cores are, well, they seem correct, but you have Bosnian claim, a Croatian claim, and a Yugoslavian claim. So, if you get that event, you can choose to either reunite Yugoslavia or just continue as divided, a stronger version of one of the countries, sort of a Great Serbia or Great Croatia, or simply just reunite all of them into and restore Yugoslavia to its former glory. That's possible. Also awesome. And what is there more to say? There is an basic OBB, order of battle, so you have some starting units, not much, but keep the action going at the start. And there are political parties, historicals for each country. There is a head of state for each country, and there will be a head of state available from each party, so that if you have an election you can change your head of state. Basically just a flavor thing, but yeah. That's it. The mod should be available in a download link below the video once it's up. I still have to do the finishing touches, but this is basically it. There may be some patches or updates to the mod, but yeah, this is most of it. Have fun with it. It's the most advanced project I have done so far. Thanks for watching.